The 33, retreat and privacy. This is in the conscious core essence or the personality sun. You will have either the cross of the four ways, second version, retreat, or left angle cross of refinement. This is the last purpose that we see in the quarter of civilization. So we've been building up civilization. We've been working to get laws and political leaders and this metamorphosis of how we see the Maya, how we create the separation. And now, at the very core of this is now we are going to look at the refinement of it. So the right angle cross of the four ways, this really is about manifesting again, but this is about manifesting in a whole new way because this is privacy. This is the need to withdraw. This is the place where we need to have our own sanctity, our own little place that we call quote unquote home. It's our own little shelter. It's our own little square box that we can be in. So this is the beginning of how civilization needs to have its own space. So we all know this. We go away, we take a vacation. There's nothing better than coming home and laying in our own bed. It's just a beautiful thing that happens. And when we see here the four ways of this, we are in this place where we need to have our own space. We need to have our own territory. We need to have our own physical dwellings and our own property so that we can retreat, so that there can be privacy, and so that we can reflect on what we've just built, what we, the consciousness aspect of that first quarter, and then the forming of all of that in the second quarter. And there really is no privacy unless you have a place to go that is your own. That's really your sanctity. It's an important space. Something else that begins here, this is where we start to begin to cut off from the sky. And we begin to differentiate ourselves from animals, where we no longer are those animals anymore. We are somehow differentiated through our civilization and through being civilized. So these are the beings, I can see these people building structures, right? They're building these structures so that we can have our own space. And they're doing it because they love it, and they love to create these beautiful homes because they have a beautiful home themselves. Now, when we look at the juxtaposition cross of retreat, now we've moved from having the 24 and the 44 underneath, where there's a lot of fear there, and there's a lot of mental anxiety that can happen there if we don't have our own space, and that if we don't feel that we are secure in that. Now we come to the 2 and the 1. And the 2 is all about having that beauty in life, and the 1 is about being able to express that. So inside our little boxes that were built for us, now we get to have this beauty, this aesthetic that comes along with having our own space. So we are reclaiming our own space, being in that own space. And civilization really doesn't start until we have individual houses and hundreds of little tiny communal dwellings, these territories that we call our own. And this is our ability to be separate and yet in a group as well. So the retreat aspect of this is, I can see these people beginning to get very fixed on that decorative aspect, bringing out the aesthetic piece of it, and that fixed on everybody having their own space. And then when we come to the right angle cross of refinement, this is where we're refining it. This is where we're putting in the nice carpets and paint. So the juxtaposition cross, I can see a little tiny bit of design aspect in there, but I also see those beings, the juxtaposition of retreat. They're building those smaller communities, Costa Rica, where everybody's got their little tiny little small spaces in this bigger community. That's where what I see there. Now, in this aspect, in the refinement aspect, this is really where I see more of the design aspect. So that nice paint, the nice carpet. bringing all the stuff, the forks, the spoons, the bowls, the jugs, everything that, brings this cohesion into the experience and refining it. And that's really where humanity is coming to a close. Let's refine our own selves and our dwellings. So there's a different aspect and a different feeling when you drive through a community where maybe there isn't the funds or the ambition to keep up the community. There's a different feel there compared to a community that is thriving, that is, everybody comes together, they help fix the local arena or the sports pitch, or there's always something to refine the community. So in the area that I work at, or work in or live in, they do a lot for the aesthetic piece. They do a lot for the aesthetic piece of it. So this is not only owning your own place, but this is really about making it pretty and refining it. And retreat only comes and when we feel good about that environment that we're in. I love my home. I feel like my home is my sanctuary. And it really is that aesthetic look of it that just suits me. It's good for me. It's my domain. And really, beauty heals. And having our own expression heals us. That's why it is so important for us to, come home and sleep in our own bed. Those are the kind of things that are so beautiful. So here in this cross, I see a lot about having your own territory, having your own space, having your own home, refining that home. So I see there's a lot of ways to collect wealth through that aspect. So we will jump into quarter number 3 in the next video, and we will coach around all of these. Thanks. Have fun.